Hey everybody, that sucked. I gotta be a little quiet here. We're in a new location yet again, and Barcelona lost 4-1 to Sevilla. So we got a lot to talk about today, to say the very least. First and foremost, I haven't seen this team look really this bad against a team that's not very good or hasn't been very good for a very long time. It felt kind of like prime Xavi ball, but they couldn't defend, which is completely different and significantly worse than prime Xavi ball, at least for the first half. The second half, it's more of an unfortunate story, I think, where Barcelona played a lot better, and it just I think the striker for Sevilla that they brought on, Adams, I think it was say, or Adam, I don't remember his full name. He looked really good, really good, and finished his chances. Was clinical in times where Barcelona the entire second half weren't. Right, we created a bunch of chances, and it didn't come together. So we'll see how that plays out, right? But it was very frustrating and added to the significant amount of pain that happened in the first half. And yeah, I can moan about that penalty call as much as I want. I think it's against the spirit of the game. I think in the Premier League that's never called. I think in the Champions League that's never called. I think it sucks. That's really all. It just these guys are so concerned about making the wrong decision all the time that they make terrible decisions a lot. I don't care if it says in the rules if there's contact to a foot in the penalty box, it's a foul. That's not a pen. The ball's going out of play. They're wrestling with each other. This guy has a whole fistful of Ronald Araujo's crotch, and you know what I mean? They're all over each other. Let it play out. It's okay. That's not a foul in my opinion ever. And it really sucks because Real Madrid have been getting penalty calls, soft penalty calls all season. Yesterday, and another example of it. And I complain about it because they're the ones we're competing with right now for the title. Atletico Madrid are several points behind in a point where they aren't really competing, at least right now. Real Madrid are the ones we are directly competing against, and losing points against us does not hurt us in a competition against Sevilla. It hurts us against Real Madrid. That's why I talk about this. It's really problematic, and it's unfair, whatever you want to call it. They've been getting really soft penalty calls all season, and this happened. Now, the reason I'm gonna end that conversation there is because I think Sevilla deserved a goal. I think we sucked. I think we conceded so many chances, and they were better than us so much that them scoring one and then ending up scoring a second in that second half, in that first half, yeah, that makes sense. I don't care if it was a pen. I'm not that surprised they scored two. It could have been even more. It really could have been even more, and I think we were fortunate to get in with a goal as Barcelona finally found their footing with 5 minutes to go, and then with extra time in the second half. In the first half, it was genuinely 40 minutes of terror ball. They didn't know what was going on. They couldn't find any space. No one was good, and some of the guys were really bad. Thankfully, Pedri played a great ball to Rashford right after he had another opportunity from a bait ball from Kubarsi, and I mean I wouldn't have been surprised if it was 2-2. Those were both pretty really good chances for Barcelona. That Rashford that missed one, scored the second, and it was 2-1 going into the second half. And I'm gonna do my ratings after I do the second half conversation because it was just such a mess. Oh my god, it was a lot better. Right, Barcelona brought on Eric Garcia, took off Araujo, who was dog water, bro. Like so bad. One of the worst performances I've seen from him ever. In a way that I've defended him a little bit in the past. I don't know why he's on this team. He's had a whole summer of healthy football to get used to the way Hansi Flick plays. He's had all of September. Yes, he's not playing every match, but he's training with the team every day. He sucked. He was really bad. And we talk about how he's athletic and he can get back. I saw none of it. I really saw none of the physicality. He makes decisions badly. He chooses there were some times where I saw him completely stop playing and the ball was still in play. The referee didn't put his flag up, and so the game is still going on. But Araujo stopped and he has to catch back up to the play because he's behind it. And then we saw, I think it was the second goal for Sevilla where Araujo was the deepest player, and that meant that he played the player on side, and it ended up being a goal. It wasn't that bad. It's not like he was that far off the high line, but he's just not good at this. He's not good at playing this high line. We've seen very small glimpses of it, And it's so funny because I'm praising Eric. I think Eric Garcia was so much better than him, and it's because I feel like their alarm system just said disarmed. Um, I don't know. Eric Garcia's not a great defender, but in the way Barcelona play, they don't defend that much anyway. And Araujo's only good at defending. He can't play the ball. That's part of the reason that we couldn't find any space, because they were able to kind of just leave him unmarked because he can't do anything on the ball, pretty much. And then you brought on Balde as well. That gave us some width. And once we spread our players wide, the center back specifically, but even the Frankie De Jong and Pedri were able to find a lot of space in the middle and move the ball forward, and that completely changed the game. Barcelona found some momentum and played great, created a lot of really good chances. A lot of really, really good chances. Ended up getting a pen, which I do think is a pen. I think it's no, it's not even, that's all. Januzaj's all over his back. It's a pen. And Balde goes down. He takes a, like, he definitely looked like he could have run on in a way that Vinny Jr. and Mbappe can always go on, but they throw themselves to the ground. Balde took a little acting pill there, and it worked out. I mean, it's a foul. Like, he's all over his back. It's fair, but I think he probably could have stumbled on. I'm glad he didn't. Lewandowski just pulled it left. Things like that happen. It really sucks, though, and it's just really frustrating to see. But we created more chances there. We could have come back, and then they just scored their chances. They didn't create. They looked the worst team significantly in the second half, but the new center striker looked great. Keep an eye on him, guys. He looked really good for the Sevilla team that last season wasn't good. So far this season's been okay, but not spectacular. But the coach he did a really good job solving some problems here. And Barcelona, I don't know. Let's go to ratings. I'm going to just complain. And I really want to talk some shit, guys. I really want to talk some smack about some guys on our team today. Szczesny, God, he made a couple saves, but my boy needed to save that fourth goal. I know it was the fourth, and we were already down 2 late in the game. We should have scored. Bardghji should have scored at least once, maybe twice, on top of Rashford. Rashford's missed chance in the early stages that was saved by, what's his name, Vlachodimos? I think that's him. Also, whatever. Szczesny, 2, maybe 3. I don't know. He's not good on the ball, and he didn't make saves today. Made a couple, but not enough. Conceding 4 is bad. A lot of the times it was one-on-one, so it's not that. Whatever. I'm going to move forward. I don't care. Koundé, terrible today. I think he looked better in the second half a little bit, but just wasn't good. Maybe 3. Araujo, 0. I think he was terrible. I don't think he should be a Barcelona player anymore. He's had enough time with Hansi Flick to figure it out. He's bad. He's a bad player in this system. He needs to be in a deep line. That's why he was so good for Xavi. I'm sure he's still great at it. Right? It's not like he can't do it anymore. But right now, he just can't do it. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't get it. He sucks. He sucked today. It wasn't even like almost. He was terrible. Homie's got to go. All the Glazers for Araujo. No more. It's over. He's done. He's leaving in the winter window if I have any say about it. But I don't, and he's going to stay. I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe I want Eric Garcia in over him, but that's the state we're in. I need Inigo Martinez back. He needs to come back from this vacation he's on, boys. I don't know what he's doing. We need him back. I need him injected into my veins forever in this team. Really bad. Kubarsi played a good ball to Marcus Rashford. Made a good tackle at the end of the second half to save a goal, but then they ended up scoring a fourth anyway. It was, or whatever. It was. I just defensively, I didn't see much, if anything, from him today. Played a couple good passes though. I'll give him a 2, maybe a little bit more. Made some more runs and everything in the second half, and then I'll give him a 4 or a 3. Whatever I gave Koundé, give it to Kubarsi. It was fine, but defensively, I didn't see anything. Like, they didn't do anything defensively, and that's not good. Obviously, that's not good. So that was just so upsetting, bro. And then Martin, useless, more or less, couldn't do anything on the ball. When he was man, they were man marking basically everybody, and he just couldn't find any space. Did beat his man a couple of times, but basically useless. 3, 2, maybe. Balde came in and was so much better. I'm gonna give Balde. I'll do the starting left, but he was so much better, obviously. And then the midfield, Frankie De Jong and Pedri, they were so frustrated, bro. They were screaming at Araujo at one point when he was at striker for some reason. I don't know why he's being PK, and it was like the 44th minute too. There was no reason for it, or it was in the second half. I don't know when it was, but whatever. Pedri and Frankie struggled a lot today, I think, to find any space in the middle, especially when there wasn't a ton of width for Barcelona's team in the first half, where it was just so congested. And there were three guys, they were man marks constantly in the middle, Danny Olmo, Frankie, and Pedri, and couldn't do anything, especially when there was no width. They improved in the second half. Pedri specifically, obviously played the ball to Rashford and then went on to be, I think, a lot better. It wasn't great from either one of them. I'll give Pedri a 6, Frankie a 5, maybe. I just don't think either one of them were that spectacular. And you saw a lot of movement from Pedri. I'll give Pedri a 6.5 because I do think we were seeing more from him. I think he impacted the game more. I think Frankie made a couple of his turns, man. But in a game like this where you're seeing center backs run into space, I want to see it from Frankie more. And it's obviously he's going to have more pressure on him because there's going to be a man marking him while no one's man marking Kubarsi or Eric Garcia. But I want to see more from him all the time, and I just don't think he was great today. Same with Pedri. Danny Olmo, though. God, it felt like we were playing with... I didn't know... I forgot he was on the pitch in the first half. And then was not great in the second half. What did he do? I don't know. This guy had cutting edge for a little while, but it feels like he's Frankie de Jong. And he's playing as a number 10. That's a problem. Like he feels like solely as a link-up option. And that shouldn't be what our number 10 is, right? That's not when it's for me. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. Who am I to say? But, I feel like we need some danger from there. It feels like there's no danger with Danny Olmo, or there hasn't been for a while. And I was really frustrated. Firmino is not the same way. Firmino makes some weird choices once in a while. Definitely won't link up as well. But, bro, he'll score and assist goals. Danny Olmo's not doing either one of those things right now. And it sucks. Today I thought he sucked. I gave him a 2. I don't know. He didn't do anything. It genuinely seemed like he did nothing. Ferran Torres was fine, but really struggled to get into the play at all. Was fouled a couple times. Whatever, bro. Maybe a 3 as well. Did nothing. Did all of nothing. And then in the second half, looked a little bit better. But again, it's part of that issue where without Balde, without Lamine Yamal, there's no width at all. And when you have Rashford and Ferran Torres, who were for half this first half swapped, where Rashford was playing on the right wing and Ferran Torres was on the left wing. There's no width there. Neither one of them want to be out that wide. Right? That's not where they play. And we saw that solved when Balde came in and everything, and I think they all got better, but maybe a 4. Yeah, whatever. Lewandowski, same thing. Obviously missing the pen. I'm going to give him a 2. Yeah, he wasn't good today. Just didn't link up great. Didn't do that much. Wasn't impactful. Disappointed me. Made me angry. And I think we win this game. He scores that pen. I genuinely think we win this game. We had so much momentum. They had nothing coming. And even if they ended up scoring a third, I think if it's 2-2, we score as well, and we get a point out of it at least. Now we lost, and it sucks, and I'm mad. But it is what it is. We got to keep moving forward. Rashford, it was the only bright spot in the first half. And in the second half, I thought was pretty solid. Obviously, scoring that first goal is important. I'm going to give him a 7. He's my man of the match for us. Maybe you could give it to Vlachodimos. Alexis Sanchez was good, but not great. I think Adams, the striker, whatever his name was great for Sevilla, and is probably my man of the match considering what happened in that second half, or even in the last 10 minutes only. And then the subs came in. Hansi, I think he made the really, really good decisions going into the second half. It obviously wasn't enough, right? They still struggled. They still just couldn't put A and B together and just could not do it, right? We couldn't score. Rooney Bardici missed a billion chances. We created enough, I think, to win this game, and they just couldn't do it. Christensen came in, and I think he was good, but then again, we did score 2 after he came in, or concede 2 after he came in. I don't know. I really don't know what the solution is here. People were calling into question the high line. I don't think the high line's as much of an issue when you have possession of the ball, right? We didn't have it. I think we had 53% of the possession in that match, and that's after, or maybe that was in the second half, but that was only because we had the ball for the final 8 minutes of the game. That's the whole point of playing the high line. You get more of the ball. You get to put more pressure on, and we saw a little bit of it in the second half, but not enough. And if the defenders can't play this high line, and I remember so many times last season where Inigo Martinez and Pau Cubarsí would make game-saving tackles, right? And they would create so many chances for the opposition would create so many chances, but they would save it somehow. It's not happening this year. It just is not happening, and I don't know if it's a symptom of just the opposition doing better against the high line and understanding it more, practicing it more, and being able to exploit it more often, or if it's the simple fact that there's just not as much chemistry on the back line without Inigo Martinez there, without him leading that high line, because we know he was a leader. Pau Cubarsí hasn't looked as good, and obviously is good on the ball, But defensively, I don't know. Like maybe he made one good tackle today. We gotta start thinking about what's going on here. And yes, we're injured. Rafinha's not around to bring intensity. Gavi's not around to bring intensity. Firmin's not around to bring cutting edge. Lamine Yamal obviously not around to do everything because that's what he did a lot of last season, and he wasn't injured at all last season. Maybe he missed 2 games. That's a big difference. And look, this is what happens after players play for the first time a dog ton of minutes. That's what happened to Pedri. It's what happened to Gavi. They get injured. They start missing matches. And Lamine Yamal's going to miss more matches this season, even if he comes back tomorrow and his groin's feeling better. You know what I mean? They got to kind of figure it out and figure out a way to play. Bardghji's got to find his shooting boots, man. He looked really good today. And he got into some fantastic positions. Really, really good. But he's got to finish. And Pau Kubarsi was getting some shooting opportunity. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Man, I'm so frustrated. And I think Sevilla played a great game today. And so they deserve a ton of credit for that. However, Barcelona could have won still and should have won, in my opinion. I think Lewandowski should have scored that penalty. I think Bardghji scores one chance, we win. Rashford scores his 2 opportunities in that first half. I think we win. They had nothing, nada going for them in the second half. And just to turn it around into a massive win like that, it's infuriating, boys. But it is what it is. We got some questions asked. They've got time. It's the international break this week. Hopefully nobody gets injured and we come back 100%. We've just got to look to that Real Madrid match and then obviously Chelsea in the Champions League eventually. Those are going to be more big testers where we have to get points and we just have to show up and do our thing. We know they can and they'll figure it out. We're just not in the coolest spot that I'd hope we would have been. Injuries are a piece of that. It's not the whole story. So let me know what you guys think about this game, and I'll see all you guys in the next one. Peace, everybody.